For me, when someone asks, who is the GOAT of sports entertainment? It's simple. But what is not simple is explaining why. So today, I present one argument that separates the true GOAT of wrestling from everyone else. This is Quinn Watts for GQ Wrestling, explaining who is the GOAT. Now, if you want to talk about who my favorite wrestler of all time is, this is Sting. Period. I grew up in Atlanta, where I still live today, the home of WCW 605 land, NWA Georgia Championship Wrestling territory. And what's funny, not to give a lot away, I never watched the GOAT growing up. I watched and cheered for NWA wrestlers like my favorite of all time, Sting, exclusively. In fact, Sting finally beat Ric Flair in Baltimore, Maryland at the 1990 Great American Bash is by far my favorite wrestling moment ever. I say this to establish that my choice of who is the GOAT has no bias behind it. So, Sting is my favorite. Now, if you were to ask me who was the best wrestler, that could be Ric Flair, who in all accounts helped make my favorite by making him look so unbelievable and good in the ring during those matches. And of course, you have Bret Hart and Kurt Angle, who are all-time performers that made their fair amount of wrestlers that maybe are your favorites, like Stone Cold or John Cena. And of course, you have Shawn Michaels and The Undertaker, who are also in the best conversation. So you have your favorite, you have the best, and then you have the GOAT. But before I tell you who is the GOAT, what is the GOAT? The GOAT stands for greatest of all time. When I hear that, I think biggest name, biggest draw, bigger than life, bigger than wrestling. From impact to longevity, the undisputed top guy of all time. And out of all the guys that you think are worthy based on that criteria, it is only one name on this list who has never been anything but the top guy. Do you realize out of everyone you can name in the GOAT conversation, that out them all, Stone Cold, Ric Flair, The Rock, Undertaker, Bret Hart, Dusty Rhodes, The Undertaker, Randy Orton, Sting, Eddie Guerrero, John Cena, Chris Jericho, Shawn Michaels, Brock Lesnar, Kurt Angle, or Roman Reigns. All of the top guys to be top guys. That is only one of them that has never held a secondary wrestling championship in their career. Now, I want you to let that sink in. This wrestler has never touched a IC, United States, European, lightweight, cruiserweight, or television championship ever.
What?
It's only one who has stood alone as only being the champion of the world. It is only one that has ever only been the top guy. And that is the GOAT, Hulk Hogan. Through the 80s, he made wrestling mainstream. He is responsible for making the WWE the financial juggernaut it is today as their world champion. In the 90s, where he went from being the top face in the business to the top heel in the business at WCW as their world champion. And the 2000s, where he came back to the WWE and was as over as ever as again being their world champion. In the three most important eras of wrestling, he was all world. And let's get this out the way. When you bring up Hulk Hogan, a lot of people automatically go to the negative. But what I learned is something I wish a lot of wrestling fans could learn to do also. And that's to separate the man from the wrestler. Look, I'm a black man from the South. I know what Terry Bollea said, but I also know what Hulk Hogan did. Terry Bollea is a man, and men lie and make mistakes. We all have, and we all would like forgiveness. Terry Bollea is just a man, but Hulk Hogan is an immortal. He did for wrestling what Michael Jordan did for the NBA. And as far as MJ goes, if it was all about points, it would be LeBron James, aka Roman Reigns. If it was all about championships, it would be Bill Russell, aka Ric Flair. But when you put it all together, that's when you get the GOAT, Michael Jordan, aka Hulk Hogan. Without Hulk Hogan, there is no war for Stone Cold in the WWE to win. There is no WrestleMania without Hulkamania. So no matter how you feel about the man, there's no sports entertainer more important to wrestling than the GOAT, Hulk Hogan.
All right, cut and print. Beautiful, guys. Dynamite. That is...
So am I just glazing? What is your opinion? Do you agree? Or do you now agree? Whatever you want to say, let it go below. This has been the authentic founder of the Next Gen and the advocate of the in crowd, Quinn Watts, signing out for GQ Wrestling.